My name is Joe, and I review movies. I just got back from seeing Dunkirk. This movie is directed by Christopher Nolan, and it stars a bunch of stars that I'm just not familiar with, so I'm not going to call it out in that fashion. The movie's about an hour, I want to say an hour and 50 minutes long, so it wasn't even a good 2-hour long movie. However, it was I enjoyed it, very good movie. I'll just say that right off the bat. That's just my personal opinion about it. But let me go ahead and get through with this review. The cinematography in this movie, some of the best I've ever seen. Now, I didn't see it on an IMAX theater, but I wish I had. I think I'm actually go back and see it on an IMAX theater because I think that's how he filmed the movie. Some of the best cinematography ever made. The movie pretty much follows the evacuation of a town called Dunkirk by about 400,000 British and French soldiers that needed to get away from this beach, this town, and they just didn't have any ships to evacuate them away. The Germans were constantly harassing them with bombs and just pretty much demoralizing them. They just wanted to get the heck up out of there. And they needed ships to get them off this, off this beach. But what ends up happening is that civilians are recruited and they use their civilian ships to go in and help these men get out. And that's pretty much the premise of the whole movie. In conjunction with all that, in the middle of all that, you have like the story actually follows about 3 protagonists. Well, maybe 4 even. But, Nolan has a knack for running sequences at the same time, and sometimes some of it is non-linear, meaning that you may see something that happens now that may happen in the future or may have happened in the past. The movie pretty much runs non-linear, and at some points all of their protagonists' missions, they converge. And I'm not going to give away anything particular about that, but I can tell you, you have to really pay attention in order to keep up. But sometimes you'll be like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. I mean, sometimes it's easy to follow, sometimes a little hard to follow. One thing I didn't like about the movie were the dialogue. Excuse me, the dialogue from some of the actors, for me, I couldn't understand it. I mean, I don't know if they needed subtitles, but I'm pretty good at understanding when actors and actresses are saying their lines, but sometimes it just came across as too, I want to say guttural, or just maybe mumbly. I'm not really sure, but sometimes I just found it hard to understand what the heck they were talking about. I followed along just fine. I mean, for the most part, I was still able to follow the movie from point A to point B, and I enjoyed it in that fashion, but sometimes it was kind of difficult to keep up. Was it gory? No, not really. I didn't see any blood, not a lot of blood in this movie. It could have been a gory film, but that's not what Nolan was trying to get across. He was mainly trying to get across the plight of these men and women that were just trying to get off the island, and from 3 different perspectives. You have a hero, you have other couple of soldiers, and I'm not going to give anything else away for you, but it really is a good movie, especially when you delve into it. I'm definitely have to go back and watch it again. This is my first review on the movie, and this is a non-spoiler part of the movie. I mean, I've told you a little bit about the plot points, but there's nothing that you don't know already by watching a trailer or anything like that. If I had to rate this movie, I think I would rate it an 8 out of 10 for myself. And I think I'm taking away points simply because, like I said earlier, it was hard for me to understand some of the dialogue between the actors in the movie itself. So to me, that takes it off. It takes off points. Could I recommend this to family and friends? If you're a Nolan fan and you can keep up with the Inception and you like the Inception, I can recommend this movie. But if you didn't like the Inception, you say, man, why did he film it like that? Why did he have me thinking when I was watching a movie? Then this movie's not for you. I think you could still get some enjoyment out of it. I really do. It's not a bad film by any means. Remember, this is Christopher Nolan we're talking about. The guy that directed all 3 Batman films. The other one, Inception, of course, he directed. And he did the other one, Interstellar. And I love Interstellar. A lot of people don't. I do. For the most part, thank you for visiting my channel. I really appreciate it. Please hit that like button and that subscribe button, comment down below. I really appreciate it, and it helps me out when you do that. In all, take care of yourself.